Aloha, good morning, and welcome to Rad Readings with Rebecca. It's a collective reading. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Firstly, I want to say my little prayer, Spirit, let me be a clear channel for your messages today so that what needs to be said is said and what needs to be heard is heard for the highest good of everyone who tunes into this past, present, and future. And so it is. Alright, so firstly, I wanted to share this. So, this morning, I look under my table, and this card was sitting there, and it's Moses, take charge of the situation. And I was like, whoa, that's interesting. And so I thought I would share that. I feel like ultimately it's definitely a message for me. Hey, what are some things that you can tend to, what do you need to take the reins in on, or whatever, or what opportunities might there be? When I saw that card initially, the first thing that popped in my mind was opportunity, because there seems to be a lot of little things happening that, seeds that have been planted that, should you nurture them, they could grow into something really cool. Now, you see the Moses archetype and you think, oh, holy shit, there's an inundation, flooding, and everything about all that. And it's kind of freaky, but if you want to try and find a way to flip that, think about this. Seeds need water to grow. Sometimes they need a fuck ton of water to grow. I'm channeling right now. The image that comes to me is this concept of a massive, massive tree, and something about the concept of the water is forming it. This tree exists interdimensionally, and something about the fact that water can also exist in different states. If states are just dimensions and ways of being, then it would make sense to me. Something about this card, the way I'm looking at it, you see these waves coming up, and I see it seems to me not something to fear. It's more like a process of some sort, and I don't want to say that this is something 3D tangible, you should, tidal waves and stuff. That's not what I'm saying here. Think of it as an analogy, a metaphor, an allegory. It's that greater ocean and the condensation into something. Anyway, I thought, too, I would combine these two decks I have. There's the Ascended Master and the Goddess Oracle. And that before I started filming this, I was like, I should combine these things, because they always end up getting shuffled together anyway. So I was like, alright. So, what we got here. Okay, we got Krishna. It is inverted. It says find your blessings in the current situation. So with it being inverted, it means there's energy maybe off balance a little bit. So if you're going through it, you got to figure out what seeds that may have been planted. Could this potentially be watering? That could be good if you're going through something, There's a need to see the good. Interestingly, when I look at these two cards, there's a water aspect in both of these. One, the water is calm, and the other, the water is raging. And one, he's playing the flute, and he's serene. And the other, there's a very active stance, and he's got the staff, and the staff is like wands. It speaks of intention and movement and stuff. So you see here, kind of this sense of polarity. Now, this did come up inverted, so the next card we have here is Health and Healing, Hilarion. I find it interesting. I'm not super familiar with this Hilarion figure. I have to look into it a little bit more, but just in terms of what I'm intuitively picking up on this, the name Hilarion, it contains, that hilarity. Anyway, it seems to me, I also see Orion. It makes me think of it. And what I'm picking up is there's also like one way to shift this when it's like this into this is to be able to find humor in a situation. Now, within reason, but usually within there you see the lessons. That's the thing why we tend to, because there's some sort of truth that's revealed, you know. The next card that comes up is detached from drama, Pallas Athena. And you think about that, when you can laugh at a situation, you'd be like, okay, this is actually kind of dumb that I am so invested in this, you know. And one of the mechanisms that allows you to detach from something is the ability to see that humor in it. The next card that comes up is Peace Offering, White Buffalo Calf Woman. The story behind this, you can look it up and find probably a better rendition of it, but I'll do my best. Actually, I'm just going to pull up the book. We should just make life easier on ourselves. I can, you know, always serve as a bad example, right? Wait, she's in the Ascended Master's Oracle. Peace. I flipped right to it. Check that out. I love it when that happens. See, it was meant to be. I was like, oh, this may be the peace offering right here. And the fact that sometimes the situation, I'm like, oh, I'm just like embarrassed myself because I didn't know what the card meant off the top of my head. But then I just like, okay, I'm going to go and refer to the fucking book. And then I flip right to the page. But yeah, you know, like in that synchronicity, the next card that comes up too is Let It Go. Kuan Yin, goddess of compassion. Let's read about this white buffalo calf woman. Excuse me. This card heralds the resolution of an argument or misunderstanding. Those involved in the situation are ready to forgive and forget. Be open to seeing the other person's point of view to soften any hard feelings. As you allow compassion into the situation, love's healing power ensures that everyone's needs are met harmoniously. Leave the details about how the situation will be resolved to the infinite wisdom of spirit. Additional meanings for this card. Be willing to forgive. Have compassion for everyone involved in the situation, including yourself. Accept another's apology. See the humor in the situation. Alright, so White Buffalo Calf Woman is a prophetess who appeared to the Lakota Native Americans. She presented the Lakotas with a special pipe to amplify the power of their prayers and to bridge a connection between earth and heaven. As she turned to leave the tribe, she turned into a buffalo of different colors to signify the unity of all races of humanity. She promised that she would return to help bring unity and peace to earth. The sign of her return would be the birth of a white buffalo calf. Call upon the buffalo calf woman to instill harmony into your relationships and for world peace. Peace offering. So, I feel like that was all actually pretty intense. So I'm going to meditate on this for a while. Take what resonates. Actually, one other thing I want to share. This has been an interesting morning. I feel like there's a lot of energy that's potent. I think if I had to pick a word for it, I would use the word potent. Because I started off my day, and you might want to try this because this is really cool, and it seems to have been potent. So, I was listening to these shamanic drum beat things on Spotify, and then I just kind of had like this channeling stuff come through me, and I ended up revisiting a bunch of stuff I had started in this book back in 2015. I think I started this. It's called Metamorphic Mysteries, Mystic Medicine, and some things came through, like some poetry and stuff, but it connected so many things. And I'll share more about that later. I realize we're getting on to 10 minutes here, but I guess it's a good segue to share at another time. You may have seen me. I have shared this before. Anyway, you may have seen me share this. Also, namaste. I honor the place in you in which the entire universe dwells. When you are in that place in you and I am in that place in me, we are one. Namaste. That is love, love, life.